The Invasion of Jane and Marty, an alien horror story. Once upon a time, there was a man named Marty and a woman named Jane who lived in a small town in the Midwest of America. They had been best friends since they were kids, so when Jane found out Marty was planning a surprise getaway for his birthday, she was pretty excited. The two friends packed up their car and headed off to an isolated cabin deep in the woods. When they arrived, Jane was amazed by the beauty of the cabin and the surrounding wilderness, and Marty was just as impressed. They both felt like they were a million miles away from their hectic lives, and Marty set off to explore the area on his own, while Jane headed to the front porch to admire the view. Little did they know, something sinister was lurking in the woods that day. A massive alien invasion had just begun, and the aliens had descended upon Earth with only one goal in mind: to take over the world. Marty had been gone for a few hours when he heard a loud, screeching noise coming from the sky. Startled, he quickly ran back to the cabin, where he found Jane standing on the front porch. She was pointing towards the sky, screaming something he couldn't quite make out. As Marty followed her gaze, he saw a giant spaceship hovering above the cabin. Inside the spaceship, the aliens had begun their attack. Suddenly, an army of robots came crashing down from the ship, accompanied by a strange, eerie silence. Marty and Jane started to run for the car, but it was too late. The robots were already at the cabin. In a desperate attempt to escape, the two of them jumped out of the second-floor window just as the robots smashed the front door. They ran as fast as their legs could carry them, sprinting through the woods until they could no longer see the cabin behind them. As they ran, they could hear the sounds of the alien ship and robots getting closer and closer. Finally, Marty and Jane managed to find a hiding spot in an old, abandoned barn. They crouched low to the ground, listening to the noises of the alien invasion all around them. Marty and Jane both knew that there was no way for them to outrun the aliens, so they just huddled together, waiting for whatever fate had in store for them. Hours passed, and the sound of the alien invasion eventually dissipated. However, the two friends still remained in the barn, too scared to move. After a while, Marty finally mustered up the courage to venture outside. But when he opened the barn doors, what he saw was something that he would never forget. The small town had been completely decimated by the aliens. Buildings had been demolished, rubble was everywhere, and bodies of the dead were scattered throughout the streets. It was a scene that no human being should ever have to witness, and Marty fell to his knees in shock. In a matter of minutes, the tiny town that had once housed so many people was now completely empty. Eventually their hiding spot was discovered by the aliens, and they managed to escape just in time before they were captured or killed. The two friends managed to make it out of the town alive, but their lives would never be the same. Marty and Jane had witnessed a horror that no one should ever have to experience, and the thought of alien invasion had forever changed their lives. From that day forward, Marty and Jane dedicated their lives to teaching others about the alien invasion and warning people about the dangers of such a horrifying force. They both knew that the only way to prevent such a catastrophe from happening again was to spread the truth and to protect humanity from the alien threat.